Now we're going to see how Part C, Part D, and Medicare supplement insurance fit into the picture. You have two options for more coverage. Option 1 is to add a Medicare supplement insurance and a Part D prescription drug plan to original Medicare. Option 2 is to choose a Medicare Advantage plan or Part C. Many plans include drug coverage and additional benefits. Medicare Advantage and Part D plans are approved by Medicare and held to standards set by Medicare. These private plan options are provided to give you more choices and the ability to fill in for what isn't covered by original Medicare. We'll circle back to this graphic later. For now, let's continue through the alphabet and talk about Part C. Part C is Medicare Advantage. It is an alternative to original Medicare and offers another way to get your benefits. You still have Medicare, and Medicare contracts with the plan to administer your benefits. Plans are offered regionally, often in a county or state, by private insurance companies. By law, Medicare Advantage plans must provide all the benefits that original Medicare does, so plans combine Part A and Part B coverage in one package. One exception is hospice care, which is covered by Part A, even when you have a Medicare Advantage plan. Most Medicare Advantage plans include prescription drug coverage or Part D, which we'll talk about next. And plans may offer additional benefits including coverage for dental, vision, or hearing care, as well as wellness and fitness program. The result is an all-in-one plan similar to what you may be used to having through an employer. Medicare Advantage plans have an annual out-of-pocket maximum to help protect against high costs. Let's explain this a bit further. As you visit your doctors, hospitals, and other medical locations, you may have to pay several co-payments, co-insurance, and possibly deductibles. Once these deductibles, co-payments, and co-insurance add up to the maximum out-of-pocket, you will no longer be charged for other services for the remainder of the year. This does not include prescription co-payments. In 2019, most Medicare Advantage plans have an out-of-pocket maximum of $6,700, but may be lower for some plans. Make sure to check the details for each plan before enrolling. There are different types of Medicare Advantage plans. Most are coordinated care plans where care is delivered through a provider network. You may get care outside of the network, but you may pay more or even the full cost. Most coordinated care plans are HMOs or PPO plans. PPO plans offer more coverage for out-of-network care than HMO plans do. Special needs plans are designed specifically for people with certain health care needs, including those who are eligible for both Medicare and Medicaid, who are living in a nursing home, or who have certain chronic conditions, such as diabetes. Point-of-service plans are sort of a hybrid, with network care covered like an HMO and care outside of the network covered for certain services. Private fee-for-service plans typically offer more flexibility in choosing providers than other types of plans do. In general, you can get care from any Medicare-approved provider who accepts the plan's terms and conditions. Medicare Savings Account plans combine a high-deductible health plan with a medical savings account. They offer more choice with more financial risk. Here are some additional things to know about Medicare Part C. You must be enrolled in both Part A and Part B to be eligible for Medicare Advantage plan. You must also live in the plan service area, and you can't be denied coverage. You may pay a premium to your Medicare Advantage plan and continue to pay your monthly Part B premium to Medicare. You may be required to use a provider in a pharmacy network. Coverage and cost vary by plan and may change each year. Annual limits and out-of-pocket costs for covered services. May charge a monthly plan premium. Must continue to pay Medicare Part B premium to Medicare. Special rules apply for people with end-stage renal disease or having dialysis. Now let's move on to Part D, prescription drug coverage. An easy way to think about this is D for drugs. Remember, drugs are not covered by original Medicare except in select circumstances. You can get drug coverage in two ways, through a separate standalone Part D plan or through a Medicare Advantage plan as we discussed. And like a Medicare Advantage plans, Part D plans are offered by private insurance companies. Each Part D plan or Medicare Advantage plan that includes drug coverage creates a list of specific drugs that it will cover. This list is called a formulary. Each plan has its own list of covered drugs, but every plan must cover a range of both generic and brand name drugs that are generally needed by people on Medicare. Plans also cover all commercially available vaccines, like the shingles shot, that aren't covered by Part B. Part B covers things like the flu and pneumonia shots. Many Part D plans group the drugs they cover into levels or tiers. Drugs in different tiers have different costs. For example, you may pay more, a higher co-payment or co-insurance for a Tier 5 drug than for a Tier 2 drug. Also, plans may have a deductible for some tiers and not for others. When choosing a plan, it is important to make sure that the drugs you take are on the plan's list of covered drugs and to understand the cost, which can vary from plan to plan. Let's take a minute here to talk about the Part D coverage gap, commonly called the donut hole, since it may be confusing for some people. The coverage gap is one of 4 Part D coverage stages. The stage you're in determines the amount you pay when you fill a prescription. Each stage has a dollar limit set by Medicare that marks when you exit that stage and enter the next. The limits shown here can change from year to year. You begin in the deductible stage if your plan has one, where you will pay the full cost for your drugs, or in the initial coverage stage, where you usually pay a copay. If your drug costs reach the limit for the initial coverage stage, then you will enter the coverage gap, where you pay a large share of the cost for your drugs, 37% for generic and 25% for brand name drugs in 2019. Again, this would change from year to year. Not everyone enters the coverage gap. If you do and your drug costs reach the limit, then you enter the catastrophic stage and you pay reduced copays for the rest of the year. The cycle starts over again in January 1st. A few final points about Part D. You are eligible to join a Part D plan once you are enrolled in Part A, Part B, or both. Plans often have a pharmacy networks that you need to use to get the plan's pricing. Plans may vary quite a bit in terms of what specific drugs they cover and what your cost may be. A key point is that you could be charged a premium penalty if you are late enrolling in Part D. I'll say more about this in a few minutes.